Welcome everybody, this is Just Johnny Gaming, and in this video we'll be doing a breakdown of stats, afflictions, boons, and many other things in the game Towerborne. This game does not do a very good job at explaining how all its gameplay mechanics work, so today I'll make it my job to explain everything to you guys. So sit back, take some notes, and let's get this started. So first we're going to talk about boons, also known as status effects. So boons are buffs that provide various benefits. There are 6 different boons. There's Aegis, Protection, Might, Haste, Regeneration, and Stability. First, let's break down Aegis. Aegis absorbs 1 instance of damage and is removed if it's not used within its duration. There are a few ways to activate Aegis. One is from the Umbra Goji, another way is from the legendary armor Cambulary Strength, and the other 2 ways are from abilities inside the Sentinel skill tree and the advanced combat section. Next is Protection. This reduces the incoming damage, so this can help with your defense, just helping you stay alive longer. Now with these recent updates, whenever you have Protection active, you'll see this blue shield going around you that just lets you know that you have Protection active. Next up is Might. Might increases the damage output you're doing by 25%, and you can identify if the Might is active if there's a blue sword around your character. Really good if you're making an offensive heavy build. Now moving on to Haste, which is honestly the real reason I made this whole video, because I seen Haste and I didn't know what it was. So when you activate Haste, it gives you a movement speed bonus of 15%. Good for moving around after you dodge. If you're low on health, you need to revive. Just, activate some Haste and keep it going. And Haste is really active inside the Shadow Striker class, where you're going to find a lot of skills that activate Haste for you. Next, we're going to talk about Regeneration. Now, Regeneration heals your health over a duration. So if it's 5 seconds, every second within the 5 seconds is going to heal your health. So that'll be 5 times in 5 seconds. This is best to stack with maybe you got an armor set that increases boon duration more. So you want to add something like that to help with the health regeneration and make it even longer to heal more health over time. And last is Stability. While active, this resists any interruptions, so you won't be juggled, you won't be staggered, you won't be stunned while you have Stability active. The only exception to this is when an enemy is doing like a red circle attack. You'll see a lot in like bosses and stuff like that. They'll still be able to hit you even through your Stability. As you can see in the video, I have Stability while doing my power keg punch, so nothing's interrupting me while I'm trying to charge up my punch. Alright, so now on to Afflictions. There are 6 different Afflictions in Towerborne: Stun, Vulnerability, Weakness, Bleed, Poison, and Burn. So you can look at Afflictions like negative status effects. Effects that do damage over time for some of them, or that cause some type of debuff to help you in combat. So first we'll cover Stun. Stun is when an enemy can't do any actions or movements. You'll mainly see this on bosses who have a break bar underneath their health bar, and whenever you break that break bar, they won't be able to move, and you'll get a few seconds there to hit them with as many attacks as you can before they recover. You can also stun an enemy that has a shield that is blocking. If you hit them with the heavy attack when you hold it, it's called the horizontal launch finisher. Hitting them with that will also cause an enemy to stun, giving you a few seconds to hit them. The next one I'm going to cover is Vulnerability. It's a simple one. This one just increases the damage you receive by 20%. And then also is Weakness. This reduces the damage you are dealing by 25%. So they're both pretty simple. Now the next 3 Afflictions that I cover are going to be the most important to gameplay. Those are Bleed, Burn, and Poison. These are the most important Afflictions that people build their characters around. Some people like to do multiple Afflictions, like maybe a Bleed and a Burn build. Some people like to do one Affliction like Poison, which is what I like to do. Just have something that afflicts poison, then have gear and aspects that help build on the poison, so it helps with the duration and amount of damage that it's putting out. So to break down the 3, Bleed deals medium damage every half a second. Burn deals low damage every 1/4 of a second, and Poison deals high damage every second. Also keep in mind that your character can get hit with these Afflictions too. So if there's like fire on the ground, you can get hit with Burn, or if there's bushes with like thorns or whatever, you can get hit with bleed. But in my opinion, this is the most important gameplay aspect that you want to look out for when making your build. Now let's talk about aspects. I know I spoke on aspects in my last tips and tricks video, but in this video I just want to go a little more in depth on how they work. So each aspect has a primary effect and one or more secondary effects, depending on the rarity of the aspect. Aspects are split into gear and weapons, and you can only apply them to uncommon and higher rarity. Now, there's only 3 places you can apply an aspect. That's your headgear, your chest gear, and then on your weapon. Now, I got a comment on my last video that made a really good point, and they were asking if they should use a T2 aspect with a higher bleed duration, or should they use a T4 aspect but it had a lower bleed duration. And that was a really good question, because what you want to keep in mind is lower aspects can have better stats just because they got a better roll than higher aspects did. So you can have a T2 aspect with great rolls, so the numbers are on a higher end for their given abilities, or you can get like a T4 aspect, a higher level aspect, but they got bad rolls and they're on the lower end of their given numbers. So you just want to keep this in mind. You know, you don't have to apply a higher aspect just because it's a higher aspect. Look at the numbers and see which one works best for your build. As you can see in this example above, I have 2 aspects that do the same thing. I have this one that's rare and this one that's uncommon. And this one that's rare, it had a better roll. As you can see, it says 15 out of 25. That's the range it could have got, and it got 24 on the higher range of it. And then, as you can see in the affliction damage, it's at 3% when it could have got between 2 to 4%. And then in this uncommon one, you can see the range was still 15-25, but it got a 21%, and the affliction damage was at 2. So this rare one had a better roll. Usually the rare ones get better rolls compared to uncommons. So you just want to keep that in mind. And also the rare one has an extra ability that is critical damage. Now it did get a low roll too when the range was 2 to 5. But this uncommon doesn't have that at all. So this rare one is way better to use in this example. Now in this example, you're going to see that this tier 3 uncommon has a 20% chance to also inflict vulnerability. Now that's the high end of the roll. Now you're going to see from this aspect over here, it has 11% chance. And it's still a tier 3 and it's rare. Now granted, it has an extra effect, but it got a low end of the rolls. So if I wanted that ability, I would most likely go with this uncommon one instead of the rare one, because it has a higher and better roll and does what I want it to do. And it also got an affliction duration at 5%, which is a good roll for it. Compared to this one, it has focus gain at the low end. The weapon meter gain is at the high end, but maybe I don't want that. So in this example, I would go with this uncommon. So keep that in mind when you're doing and applying aspects. Don't just keep an aspect because it's a higher tier. Look at the rolls, see if it's actually what you need. If not, discard it. You get more resources from it. And maybe keep the lower ones because, like I said, they have a better roll, so they do more of what you need it to do. Also, another neat thing to keep in mind, you can go inside this training facility if you want to test out your aspects to see how much poison damage you're doing, bleed damage you're doing. Just select the danger level, come in here, do some fighting, see what everything's doing. So if you like what your build is putting out, then you can keep it. If not, you can mix some things around. So always just keep that in mind. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Umbras. Again, something I covered in my last video, but that was very vague. It was just showing you how to get Umbras. In this video, I'm going to show you where all the Umbras are at. So there are a total of 12 Umbras in the game right now. Each have their own abilities. And again, you do get them from the shrines on the world map, except for one that you get from Rick's. That is Iska, the first Umbra you get in the game. That's the only one you're not going to get from a world map. All the other 11 you will. As you can see on this world map, it's going to show you where 10 of the Umbras are at. The only one I don't have on this map is the brand new one that just came out on update 8, Bastion. That's the only one this one's not going to show you. So if anybody knows where to find that Umbra, I'm sure it's the new region at the northeast part of the map. But I don't know the exact location yet. So if anybody knows it, drop it down in the comments to let, help the community out. But this map shows you where the other 10 are at. So if there's anyone in specific that you want, look on this map. I'm going to link it down below so you can find it yourself. And then, use it to your advantage. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today are gear sets. I feel like gear sets are really important in gameplay because they can provide some great benefits. There are gear sets that can help regain health. There's gear sets that help inflict poison. There's all different type of gear sets, so I think you should find the one you like and apply it to your character. Now, some gear sets are found in specific areas where you can find all 3 pieces. Mind you, you have to wear all 3 pieces to activate the gear set benefits. Also, keep in mind that they do come with other benefits, so you kind of want to farm out these gear sets to find more benefits that suit your playstyle. Now on screen, I'm going to show you all the different gear sets and all the abilities that they come with and what area to find them in. If you need to look at this list yourself, I'm going to link it down below, link the website so you can find the gear set that you want, do some mix and matching, find out which one's good for you so you can make the best build possible. Just remember to try to unlock some curios, because some of these gear sets, they don't look so cool. They have good benefits, but they don't look cool. So I would say make sure you unlock some curios so you can get some cosmetic pieces to make the gear set look how you want it to look. But that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll be putting out more videos like this for Towerborne. I really enjoyed playing this game. So like I said before, if you want to play co-op or anything, leave your gamer tags down below. Then we could try to get a lobby started to play. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace out.